Hey guys, what's up? Hitmartha right here, and welcome back to Let's Play Pokemon Colosseum. In the last episode, we went through the spiral staircase of hell, as I like to call it. Because, well, it's just quite an adventure to have to go through that. But in this episode, we are going to be heading off to a new area that's not one of my favorite ones, but nevertheless, it's time we ventured there. So, let's head out to the under here. And by going out this way, you can actually unlock this little area on the map where you can just go straight down to that area and not have to go through everything else. But now that we've done that, it's time to move onwards from the under and onto the Shadow Pikmin Lab. This is where they make all their Shadow Pikmin. But no, of course not. The Shadow Pokemon Lab, which we saw a little bit of, but we couldn't do anything because we were not able to get inside. However, now that there is a key slot, can actually go to wherever it is. No, not the jail key. There it is, main gate key. Use it here, and open the door. Now there's actually a couple little charges you can pick up before heading into the main area of this. The first one's actually hidden inside of here, and it's just in the corner. You can get 2 full heals from that. And if you go back around here, this is actually on the outside. You could have gotten this prior. I just thought it was on the inside. But the outside of the gate, you can actually find that item right there. I cut to it, needless to say, post-commentary power. And got 3 revives from that. So yeah, you can actually walk around the perimeter for that, and you don't have to worry about it. Now there's 2 gates you can go in here. The one on the left is locked right now, so we're actually going to be going on to the right. There's not much in the left-hand side, so it'll be pretty easy to keep track of which is which. Go over here and notice that there's a little purple screen that says here's the shutter switch. Press it? Sure. And that will unlock the left door. That's all we can do for right now in here. So, I mean, obviously this needs needs some sort of an entry key, so we can't do anything with that. So instead, we'll be going through this area right here. Now, there's not much to this area. There's just a little bit. Just gonna warn you right now, the upcoming trainer will be a researcher with 2 Voltorbs. But anyway, there's some PP ups right there, and those will increase the amount of times you can use a move without healing it with PowerPoint increasers or the Pokemon Center. So those are definitely pretty useful. Around here, I'm just mostly checking for little things in it. There's a couple of just nooks and crannies, and some of them have things, most of them don't, but there are a few that do, so make sure you check, and if your character's running into anything that you can't see, then there's an item there. But since that was the only thing right there for the most part, there is a little area to go down there, but we'll do so after this battle right here. With this guy right here. He says, "This is discrimination. Why do they single me out for these extra assignments? There's still packing left for the move out of this lab." Who are you? You're suspicious, therefore you must be intruders. Well, yeah, I guess. Researcher Mirror, and like I said, all he's got is just a couple Voltorbs. Those 2 are the only ones he has. So ground type attacks work great here. Make sure you stay away from using your water types and your flying types. Granted, I know I'm using my water type right here, but remember Quagsire is a water ground, so electricity will work against it. So it actually works fantastically in this area. And since it knows my shot, I can take out anything pretty easy. My other option here was obviously the Espeon that I had, and that's just because it has Psybeam and that'll do a lot of damage. So yeah, this battle, needless to say, went by very, very quickly. It only took 1 turn. Both of them, so nothing ridiculous. Minimal damage from Spark. And Mudshot will take care of the other one. Now the rest of this I'm going to speed up. The only reason I showed this one is there really wasn't much of a reason to speed it up, and speeding stuff up it requires more editing. Since that one was just so short, it really wasn't that big a deal. So I'm not going to fret over it. What did I do to deserve this? What did we do to deserve this? But anyway, he says, "I'll make you regret seeing me." Yeah, I'm sure you will, buddy. Sure you will. Either way, he drops the little thing on the floor, and that is the card key. That's obviously what opens the door on the right-hand side of this little map area. Now we get to the lab. Before we do that, however, let's go down here, and you'll notice that this is actually the area we saw earlier in the under that they blew up the other half of it. We also noticed there was an item over here, so we can pick these up. There's 3 elixirs from there. So that we've done that, we're just going to be doing a little bit of backtracking. That is literally all there is on the left-hand side of the door, so you do not have to worry about coming back to this left-hand side. It's just those 2 items, or those 3 items rather, and the research. The only other time we're going to come back here is in this lab. I'm going to say it now. I'll probably mention it again in a second. That PC right there, this is the only PC in the entire Shadow Pokemon Lab area. There's not another one in this area. And it is a bit of a maze, and there's not healing items, or not healing centers either, so you're going to either have to use your items, or you can put your Pokemon in the PC, and then leave the PC and come back out and take them back out, or you can leave to one of the other locations, like Phoenix City, and you can go there and heal your Pokemon. Any of those 3 will work. I'd recommend saving your items. But either way, we're going to use the card key right here. And I actually got interrupted at this point here in a second, so there's going to be a small cut, and I will be right back in about 10 seconds. Either way, I'm going to do my best to explain this area because it is a bit complicated, but either way, I will see you guys momentarily. Alright, so now we are back. Like I said, we had a little bit of a split here because I had gotten interrupted at this point, but anyway, we are going to continue onward. Now, for the rest of this area, there's going to be 9 different locations where we can find DNA samples, and we need those to progress throughout the thing. So I will let you know the locations of them, but keep in mind that they will be randomized, so whatever your locations may be, they may not match up exactly with mine. So just make a note of that. There will be 9 spots, and we're looking for 3 in total. So without further ado, the second I decide to actually start moving on this, I'm pretty sure this is while I was getting interrupted. Since I got a little bit of time here, I'm going to go ahead and say right now that this might be, not the last episode, but it might be the last episode for a little while. Unfortunately, they moved up my appointment to get my wisdom teeth removed to tomorrow, so, I'm not sure how much time I'm going to have to record. I'm going to be recording a lot of Brawl after this. Anyway, that spot right there that I was just at before talking to this guy, that was location number 1. Obviously, a DNA sample was not there. So we're running this way, you'll have a Cypher Peon. He has an Apom and a Castform. That Apom is a Shadow Pokemon, as you'll see here in a second. I did, for the most part, not really skip the battles. I just kind of showed the catch and what their team were. For this one, I just, took out the Castform and then took out whatever else he had. The Castform was really easy to remove, so... He also has a Remoraid. That's just a water type. You can take that out with any electric attack, no problem. He also has a Furret, which we've seen before. That's a normal Pokemon. It's weak to fighting if you're using a fighting type. If not, you can pretty much just keep slamming it with attacks until it's taken care of. Now, I'm not going to lie, I had a very difficult time catching this Apom, and I've always had a difficult time catching it. It seems like it doesn't really want to go into the snag balls for some reason. But either way, the Great Ball is more or less a case of me just trying something other than an Ultra Ball, and it happened to work, so... Got pretty lucky on that front. Whenever you do beat these guys, they actually don't have any thing that they say to you before running off. They just disappear. So we're gonna head down this elevator, and there's actually a DNA sample on the desk at the bottom. I'll show that in a minute. Right now, I'm apparently just looking at my team, seeing what to switch through. We're gonna be fighting a researcher here, so you're gonna want to have ground types, and if they have Magnemites or Magnetons, use fire or anything else that Steel is weak to. Either way, this guy's not very difficult at all, and the funny thing is there's another guy later, well not later on, but almost immediately after. It's practically the same battle. Either way, he's got an Electrode, a Magnemite, and a Magneton, if I believe. I think that's correct. That Electrode does like to use Self-Destruct, and they did in this fight. Self-Destruct is a move that will cause your own Pokemon to faint and do massive amounts of damage to everybody else on the field. It actually didn't kill either of my team, but, just letting you know that can happen. And yeah, he also had a Magneton, so I just took it out with, basic stuff. Wasn't that difficult. And once you go up the stairs, guess what? There's another one. And this is pretty much the exact same battle. The only difference is this guy's Electrode doesn't know self-destruct. Or if it does, I didn't see it use it. It used Thunder quite a bit. And if I recall, his team likes to use Rain Dance in addition to Thunder. For those of you that don't know, if you use Rain Dance, it will increase Thunder's accuracy to 100% as it's opposed to, I think, 70%. So, either way, just a note of that. Other than that, battle is exactly the same. Pokemon-wise, it's the exact same. I think his Magneton might be one level higher, but that's it. That's the only difference. But either way, he mentions that the Shadow Pokemon are already gone. Up here there's a downstairs key. That's always going to be there. It's not like the DNA sample. It will always be there, so you do need to pick it up because that's how we progress through the rest of this map. And there's nothing else in this room. However, I'm going to go pick up the second DNA sample, and I believe the third one can also appear on one of these 3 desks. So this is the locations for number 2 and 3, potentially 4, since I see 3 desks right there, but I don't have the locations right in front of me. I'm just going off of what I remember. But I'm pretty sure I know where all 9 of them are, and I'll be sure to go through them. Once again, the other one's right over there. And that is everything on the left-hand side. The right-hand side is actually, I think I showed it off right here. No, I didn't. The right-hand side is actually the exit to this area, so the right-hand side won't have anything on it. So the only other option here is obviously going down, and you can fight this researcher. You don't really have to. It's free experience, but you don't need to. He's not going to drop anything. It's just a free battle if you want extra experience or anything like that. Obviously, he's got electric, just like the rest of the researchers always do. He has a magnemite, and he has an electrike, which I don't think we've actually seen too many of those. But either way, his team is fairly straightforward. The electrike's not going to be particularly strong against anything. He also has a Chin-Chow, which is a water electric, so do with that what you will. Once again, still not that difficult. Either way, once he is defeated, we can head down here. This is actually the door that we need the downstairs key for. So just scroll down to there on your key items, and it will open. You're going to be fighting another peon here in just a second, so I obviously switched up my team here. And she's got a pretty diverse team, actually, so just be aware. Cypher Peon Lar, or Lair, I don't know which it is. It could be either or, in all honesty. She has a Nuzleaf and a Carvana, and she also has a Houndour, which I didn't show her throwing that out, but I did show it using an attack just to prove that it was there. Carvana will be weak against the electric, which is obviously why I had my Ampharos out there. I kept out Quagsire just for the sake of having it be more convenient later on in the battle. And she also has a Murkrow, that's a Shadow Pokemon. It's got really weak stats, so don't hit it with anything terribly strong. And like I said, she has a Houndour as well, so you can take out the Houndour with water or ground. You can take out Nuzleaf with fire, you know, pretty much whatever works. Her team's not incredibly strong. And that goes for a Shadow Pokemon, like I said, so you do have to be careful catching the Murkrow. And I've had quite a time catching it, I'll tell you that much. It was more than a little bit ridiculous. I think whenever I was cutting out the time between defeating her Houndour and catching the Murkrow, I think it was like almost 10 minutes of me just throwing Pokeballs and Ultra Balls and all that, just trying to get it. I mean, it was ridiculous. Regardless, now that she is defeated, we have another branching path right here. We have left and down. If we head over to the left, this will go to a little area. You can talk to this guy. He's not going to battle you, so don't worry about it. He says he's been hired to tend to Pokemon. Were you guys wanting a Pokemon too? If you say yes, he'll say, well, it's a shame, but they're all gone. They've been taken away somewhere. If you say no, he says, well, I guess that's good, then they've all been taken away. So either way, he proves that they're not there. These two little doors right here are locations, I'm assuming, either 4 and 5 or 5 and 6 for DNA samples. Obviously, I had one of them right there, but either of those two doors can hold them, sometimes both. Heading down here, that little path on the right actually doesn't have anything to it. It's just a dead end. There's no item or anything there, so you don't have to go that way. Going down will obviously trigger this Cypher Peon fight. She has a Pupitar and a Zubat, and I believe another Shadow Pokemon here as well. We're going to find out. But the Pupitar can get taken out by, well, ground, I would assume would be the easiest thing to get rid of it with. Also, since I've had Dragon Dance on, or not Dragon Dance, since I've had the EXP share on my Altaria, it tried to learn Dragon Dance at that point, which raises attack and speed, but I chose not to put it on Altaria. She also has a Fortress, which is a Bug and Steel type, and that is a Shadow Pokemon, and she also has a Swablu as well. Nothing terribly difficult here. Fortress will have a lot of defense and a lot of HP. It's kind of a wall, in case you couldn't tell by the name. I don't prefer it, but it's not terrible. If you want a decent bug type, I suppose that would be one to go with. The problem is, since it's bug steel, it's going to be really weak to fire. But regardless, now that we've taken care of that Cypher Peon, head back down here. Whenever I have those weird cuts, it's me going to save and to heal. If you're wondering what that is, I do that after every battle, in case, you know, I mess up one, because I don't want to have to reset and go through all of it again. Once you go down here, you're going to go to the left and immediately get ambushed by this guy. If I recall, his team is nothing fancy. He has a Rhyhorn and an Ariados. That Ariados is a Shadow Pokemon. The Rhyhorn's pretty weak. You can take it out with grass, with, you know, water. Pretty much anything you take a rock and ground type out with. You've seen these before, I'm pretty sure. The Ariados is just a bug, so make sure you don't use any fire attacks on it. The only reason I had my Typhlosion out was because of the fact he has a third Pokemon, Grovyle, and it was going to be weak against that. I didn't actually show myself catching the Ariados right there, but I did catch it, in fact. It actually caught it pretty easily, too. Anyway, after you've caught that, you can go inside here, and this is actually 2 other locations for DNA samples. I'm assuming one would be up here, and the other one would be on the lower area. Every time I've played this game, I haven't had a DNA sample appear in this room, but they can appear here. I do know that for a fact. I've seen a playthrough where they have. Right here we have another branching path, which is up and to the right. You actually want to go to the right first, because it has, I believe, max elixirs. But once you do that, you can go up into this room, and there's actually some more DNA sample locations, as well as a researcher who we're going to fight here in a minute. And, like all researchers, what a surprise, has electric-type Pokemon. It is 2 electrodes. I'm pretty sure that's his entire team. I'm pretty sure anyway. If not, I'll see right here. He might have a Magneton, but I'm pretty sure he's just got those 2. Nope, those are the only 2 he has. And they're nothing fancy. I don't think they ever use self-destruct or anything like that, so not a big deal. Like I said, this is a location for a DNA sample. You can see that one sparkling right there on the ground, so I have all 3 right now. You guys may not. There is still another location. I just kind of showed this in the background right here because this is actually the final area of this little spot. That right there is the boss, who is Ein, I believe is his name. So he will be the boss. I didn't fight him in this video. I stopped right before then, but now we've got 2 elevators and another battle. This one is a very heavy attack-based battle, which means their Pokemon have really high attack. Not really anything else. She has a Granbull, a Lanoon, and a Vigoroth, I believe is the 3rd one. The Granbull is the Shadow Pokemon here. It's not terribly difficult. The only thing is it can, if you're under level, it can hurt you pretty badly with its attack stats, so you do need to watch out for that. It will have Intimidate as well, so expect your attack to get lowered right off the bat. So even though they do have high attack, they do have very low defense, so it's not that difficult to lower their HP, and in the case of the Vigoroth and the Linoon, just to defeat them within 1 or 2 basic attacks. Shouldn't be anything terribly difficult. They are all normal types, in case you couldn't tell. They are all normal. I don't think they have any subtypes, I'm pretty sure they're all just straight normal. Either way, when she's defeated, right over here on this last spot, that is the last location for any of the DNA samples. So once you're done, you'll notice that there's 2 elevators here. I still need to go pick up that item down there. I don't know if I showed that or not, but you should have 3 DNA samples at this point. If not, go back and check all the areas I said. Now, in all honesty, you probably want to enter the left elevator first and beat all the battles that are there. But I'm going to go ahead and show the right one first. In the right elevator, we can go into this room right here that has a scanner, or a DNA analyzer, whatever you want to call it. And you're going to take the 3 DNA samples and use them right here. And they're not, yours are not going to be the same as mine. They are going to be different. The ones I had were Suicune, Entei, and Quilava. And there can be up to 9 in total. You can also get Raikou. Basically, you can get any of the 3 legendary dogs, any of the 3 starters that we had from Bluno, Russo, and Verde. So you can see, you know, Quilava, Croconaw, or Bayleaf. And the last 3, I'm not sure what they are. I think it's like a Noctowl, a Houndoom, and something else. Like 3 kind of random ones. So I got a set that was pretty easy to memorize. Either way, once you have those 3, go ahead and head into the left elevator. If you're bad at memorizing it, head into the left elevator first and beat the 2 trainer battles that are here, and then go back and get it, because then you can just go a straight shot to where you need those 3 Pokemon memorized. It doesn't matter what order you scan them in, by the way, because whenever you're putting in the passcode, as long as you put in those 3, it's fine. It doesn't matter what order you put them in. Anything will work, so. Once again, we're going to be fighting another researcher, so obviously I put my team back for beating researchers. And he's actually the last researcher of this area, so there's not much left here. And what happens after this battle is actually kind of funny, but I'll show it when we get to it. So he's got a magneton and electrode. What a surprise! I mean, we've seen researchers have that multiple times. This is another battle I think that likes to use Rain Dance quite a bit. I don't know because I don't have the footage right in front of me, but I think he's a fan of using Rain Dance repeatedly. He also has an Ampharos, so yeah, that was a little bit confusing to find whenever I was cutting the video because I was looking at mine. I was like, wait, does he have an Ampharos too? But yeah, he has an Ampharos, so I think that's the first time we've seen a researcher have that. Either way, once you beat him, he sets off the alarm and says, "Wahaha, you're stuck. There's no escaping the lab now." Even though you can easily leave this area. You're not stuck here. You can easily leave this area and come back, and the alarm will still be going. Either way, there's one more Cypher Peon to fight that as a Shadow Pokemon. She has a Vibrava, which you do need to be careful with on this one because it's part ground, so you're not going to be able to use Thunder Wave to paralyze it. If they get paralyzed by contact with static, that does work, but you can't put them into paralysis with Thunder Wave. You can still put them to sleep, and that was the thing. I believe one of the Pokemon prior in this area had insomnia, and I couldn't put it to sleep. But either way, she has a Vibrava, she's got a Swellow, she has a Kadabra, and I actually caught the Vibrava before finishing the battle. There were still 2 more Pokemon she had out, so I don't know, it was just in the red health and it was already asleep, so I just decided to go for it. And she also has a Kecleon. Kecleon will change its type. It's normal, but it will change its type depending on what attack hits it. So if you hit it with a dark type, it'll go to dark type. So best strategy is to pick, 2 things and have it, attack it with a fire type and then attack it with a water type, so it'll be super effective. So apparently Mightyena, Mischievous, and Sudowoodo were the other 3. But you put in the passcode, depending on which 3 you had. Once again, order doesn't matter. And you're going to fight Cypher Peon Scrub, yet again. If you did not catch the Shadow Hitmontop that he had in Rolling Forest, it will still be there. If not, I believe that Graveler will take its place. If you didn't catch it now, it's going to be a lot easier to catch it. Either way, with the Wobbuffet, it's pretty much the same thing. It's just going to use Counter and Mirror Coat, so if you don't attack it, it's not going to bother you. He still has a Clamperl, it hasn't changed into a Gorbis or anything like that. And he has a Metacham as well, so I wouldn't call that battle overly difficult. It's pretty straightforward. There's not much else to it. But either way, once we've beaten him, head downstairs, make sure you've healed and saved and whatnot. If you head back here, you can actually pick up a HP up, and that will obviously just increase the max HP of any Pokemon you choose. And even though I can't show because I don't want to get too much farther on here, the boss is right there. So that is actually it for this episode of Let's Play Pokemon Colosseum. Once again, like I said, I'm going to be out for at least a couple days. I'm going to have a whole bunch of stuff recorded in advance, but may not see Pokemon Colosseum for about a week and a half or so, which is kind of disappointing, I know, but there's not much I can do. I'll be having my wisdom teeth out, like I said, so who knows how much time I'm going to have and how well I'm going to be feeling. Either way, take care, guys, and I will see you in the next episode.